we should be up. Maybe. Yeah. It says we're up.
Yeah, I don't see anything though.
Yeah, it's right there. See?
Yeah, but no, there's nothing there.
It's always like that.
Yeah, but go to the other page. Like, go to the...
Oh, did you do your thing yet?
What?
Where you got to go to your YouTube and all that stuff?
You mean my YouTube? It's our YouTube.
Yeah. You're the one with access to it.
Well, that's your fault.
I don't think it is.
It is your fault.
I don't think so.
Because I told you what to do.
I mean, I can't do anything because it
Did you do it today?
I told no.
You did in the email like I told you to?
I'm off. You work on your day off?
You see me work on my day off.
I know.
Jackass.
That's why I said it.
Oh.
I'm gonna drink my water and make you upset because it's fun.
Nope. You not today.
Not today.
I already had to serve some people some humble pie earlier. You won't get me today, sir.
I got to laugh today, man, because I'm too sad to talk about real stuff. It is what it is.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that for sure.
What up, Edward Sanchez Productions, Ty Williams. We're gonna let some people get into the chat, but
what's going on with you, folks? How are y'all doing today? What's going on in your lives?
I'm going to put up what we're gonna talk about a little bit, and
I mean, we said it in the title.
but there.
Oh, you want some reading materials? And
Yeah.
stuff?
So
It's like a group discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little class project. That's great.
I mean, that's what we did. That's what I always try to do with this. Like if there's an article, I always try to put it in the chat so people can,
Fair enough. If that was the case, I wouldn't have went to IGN based on what you already said.
Well, the reason why I wanted to go there because I wanted up because I want to talk about the fact that they have nothing up.
Okay.
Like they have that like they've had some videos, but
Sure. Mark Cerny. What's he talking about? I'm going to read that later.
who's Mark Cerny?
Helped create, I guess he created, whatever. He's the chief architect on PS5. He's a really smart guy who's like, man, you were
that
super,
guy?
Yeah.
Well,
you were super smart and you were on another level. But I don't know what you're talking about.
He explains what the headline says, basically how the PS5 design came together, and the fight that took place, and that's why we got this giant white box in our
He also
living rooms.
did NAC 1 and 2.
So he's talking about.
Dang. I mean, I've never played it, but I mean, I can't
It was
be
a
mad
launch
at you.
title for the PS4, and it was. My brother, every time I bring it up, he was like, "So I liked it." I've never played
Good for
it.
him.
Don't know anything about it, but I always mess with. He always gets mad when I bring it up, and I'm like, "Hey man, you wanted the game. I bought it for you. You need to stand by your decisions."
I love it. I love it. Ty Williams, have I got my Black Friday TV yet? No, I didn't, because I spent that money on a computer for us so that we can stream more efficiently. So my money for a Black Friday TV went to a computer instead.
You don't need a high-end TV, man.
You know what? I didn't believe I did until I got these glasses. And now I'm seeing stuff. I was like, oh, 1080p is for suckers. I didn't know my eyesight was bad. And it's not like I'm blind without it, but everything is definitely sharper now having glasses. Having never worn glasses before, I got them for the first time today.
You have no idea how funny that is to me.
Leroy, I'm like, oh my God, the world. You're in 4K right now. You weren't before.
I almost said something.
720, 4K.
I almost said, N-word, I've always been in 4K. Just
Not for
because
me.
you can't see.
Not for me. You are now. You might be 8K with these glasses. But anyway, yeah. So it's funny that I got this computer, or in the process of getting the computer, because all the parts are still being assembled.
Probably on them boats outside California.
It might be. Who knows when I actually get the boat? But now that I have these glasses,
Swim out to that ship.
I kind of do want a 4K TV now more than ever. So I'm still looking at an LG. We'll see.
You don't need to spend X amount of money, because I was in Best Buy the other day, and I almost bought Bad Boys for Life, because it's on sale. It's $10 on 4K.
You did it with the... Oh, you don't really do all that stuff, do you?
What?
Like, I got it as part of the streaming deal.
I want physical and digital.
Fair enough.
See, we've had this conversation.
all
I
right.
don't look at
All
this.
All right, fair enough. Welcome to the 4-Eye family. Thanks, IMAX. Appreciate it.
I went in there and looked at TVs, and I mean, they were selling Don't get me wrong. The Sony Bravia TVs, in the back,
Mm-hmm.
they were selling those. They're 15, a couple of $100. Man, you could have got you a TCL, $200.
TCL does not look as good as an OLED TV. You know how I know? I know now.
Guess what?
What? Take these off and it don't matter?
No.
Oh.
You ain't got OLED.
That's true. That's true.
You better get what you can get.
But I can wait for that LG. Because I would imagine this year's version will be cheaper next year. So
Yeah, when the CES comes out.
Right. So we'll see what I'll
honestly,
do with the TV.
Honestly, the best time is not Black Friday. The best time to buy a TV is the week before Super Bowl weekend.
Ty Williams, that is the TV I'm looking for. Actually, is the C1,
The C1?
LG C1. Yeah.
How much that cost?
Right now it's $28.99. I think the normal price is $34.
$2,800?
I think normal price is $34.99. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to stay at $28.99. No, it's been that way for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you was gonna put that upstairs?
Why do you need to know where it is?
I mean,
I don't want to tell you where I'm gonna put it.
That space ain't built for that. That's what I'm like.
Yeah, it is.
With the built-ins, wherever you gonna put it?
Where the other TV is. Move that TV and put that TV there.
I don't remember it being that big.
It's not that big.
Oh, so you weren't going like?
I wasn't trying to replace size for size. I was getting a bigger TV.
Yeah, but I didn't think that space was like. Yeah, what sizes you tried to go for?
77.
You think a 77 is gonna fit in there?
Wait, do you think I'm trying to put it inside?
Yeah. I'm like,
No.
Oh, okay.
The other TV isn't inside the box. It's a little bit outside of it.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Oh, I know it's not gonna fit. No.
Yeah, I was like, that ain't gonna fit there.
Thank you. I don't like you sizing up my house.
I mean, that size of everybody's house.
Fair enough.
I'm just, I need to know where all the exits are. I need to know where everything is. I need to know if you got stuff that somebody may come and try to rob you while I'm there.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not saying it's happened. I'm just saying.
Always be prepared.
Always be prepared. I've seen Belly.
Okay. It's been about 2 weeks. I guess.
Remember when he got jacked in the basement? See? That's because you know why?
Wow.
He wasn't prepared.
He wasn't prepared. Okay.
He had his back. There were no exits.
Yeah.
That's how you messed up. And that's how they messed up in the barbershop. Because you got to be able to see where the exits are. You got to see where people coming.
Okay.
I ain't going to make that mistake.
All right. Fair enough.
That's how you get blasted.
That's how you get blasted. Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about Activision. What's going on? What's happening? What they doing to fix this? Can they fix it?
They can't fix it.
I mean,
not with the current heads. So
right.
Let's start from the beginning. So you take us to the beginning because you were up on this a while ago because you brought it up to me, and that's how I realized it was a big deal. Because when I first heard about it, it was the language. We talked about the language that was changed and IGN and that kind of stuff. And that's why I was like, interesting that they're not covering it now after that. And that's why, so let's start from the beginning. Activision, what's going on?
So where I'm going to start is July 20th, 2021. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of basing all my stuff on an aggregate article that IGN put together, probably from, I want to say, Matt Kim, Kat Bailey, Luke Riley, and I can't remember the other person's name. A bunch of IGN writers kind of put this together. So I'm going to go over some bullet points, or kind of like headlines.
Okay.
Activision Blizzard sued by California over allegations of frat boy culture and sexual harassment. Adam Bankhurst and Joe Scrubbles, that's who it was, not Luke Riley. There we go. So that's kind of the headline. So during that time, California Labor Board, a lawsuit was filed with them. And
there's 500 complaints from what I understand, or 500 complaints since that lawsuit was filed.
Right. And keep in mind, other companies have had frat boy culture. That's been an issue throughout gaming forever.
Yeah.
Frat boy culture in terms of sexism and women not being paid equally, which is an issue, not just in video games, but especially in video games. Mm-hmm. All that stuff has always been kind of happening beneath the surface.
But then Activision said, hold my beer.
Yeah, we'll show you how to really get people mad at you. And that first article, that first lawsuit was from the company Blizzard, which is the Blizzard and Blizzard Activision. They're the ones that do World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, all that stuff. Overwatch, all that stuff. And the suit alleges that, there's a culture there where a lot of developers and editors, particularly men, are allowed to kind of act however they want and treat women without, blatant disregard. We move from that to the next day, July 21st, 2021, Activision Blizzard released a heavily criticized official statement in response to the lawsuit. That statement was from, who was it? It was, it doesn't matter who it was, because the person who wrote it is no longer there anymore, and they got moved to another position within Blizzard. At the time, they made it seem like it was all this woman's fault who wrote it. She was supposed to be in charge of HR and everything. That got pushed aside. It's now come out recently that no, that actually came from the CEO, Bobby Kotick. And they tried to say he didn't write, he didn't have anything to do with it.
So a lie, we're starting off with a lie.
Yeah. Next day, July 22nd, then president of Blizzard, J. Allen Brack, emailed staff to address the lawsuit, saying we're working on it, we're doing things, all that kind of stuff. The woman who I'm talking about was Fran Townsend. She sent an internal email the next, also on July 22nd, to people within the company saying they're working on it. But they were trying to also say the lawsuit that was facing them is meritless and without claims and all that stuff. People called that out as BS. They're trying to figure out, why are you guys saying this isn't worth anything? 2 days later, July 24th, former Blizzard executives apologized for failing employees. So
seems there's just some merit to it, huh?
Right. The issue was some people who used to work with Blizzard acknowledged that, yeah, we could have been better with how we dealt with our corporate structure and how we treated everybody, men, women, whoever it was. There we go. There we go. And a lot of this is kind of daily. Bobby Kotick, on July 27th, he is the CEO of Activision Blizzard. He's been with Activision Blizzard for 20 plus years. In terms of making the company money, he knows how to do that.
Because he went from, here's an excerpt from the Wall Street Journal article. And this is why we bring this up, because the Wall Street Journal just dropped an article recently within the last week that highlights from basically what's been going on. Under Kotick's leadership, the company's market value has risen to about $54 billion from $14 billion a decade ago. That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
So Kotick probably has some support.
Sure. Until recently, their stock price was at $70-something. At last check, I think it's down to 62, which isn't a huge drop, but I mean, yeah. It is a drop. Because when this stuff first started happening, people kept saying, yo, we need to vote with our dollars, we need to do things, and they were still making money. It wasn't until recently that the stock prices really dropped that people called for Bobby's resignation.
And also, just so you guys understand, Activision Blizzard is the second largest publicly traded video company. So that lets you know how.
Who's number one? Is it EA?
I wonder if it's EA or if it's ZeniMax, but I don't know which one.
Well, ZeniMax is going to Microsoft now.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I was wondering, like, and were they a public traded company before they were bought, or were they a private company?
Oh, I see.
That's what I don't know that.
Okay. The first big walkout of this year was July 27th through the 28th. Activision Blizzard employees staged a walkout list demands, basically calling for a better corporate culture. Activision says, hey, we're going to listen and respond. The next day, Ubisoft employees signed their own letter supporting Activision Blizzard because you guys remember in months and years past, Ubisoft has been dealing with their own corporate culture of stuff.
So a lot of crunch was going on. Remember, Ubisoft last year said, we're not releasing anything in our fall schedule because we need to hold off. Remember, that was like, because remember it was, or was it a year before? Because remember they were like, we're pushing everything back. Going into 2020, they pushed everything back because Watch Dogs 2 was supposed to release that year, and all their lineup of games, and that
Legion.
Legion.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch Dogs Legion. They were accused of misconduct, but I don't remember if it was sexual misconduct, but I know they were guilty of crunch. And
they were guilty of crunch, but also a lot of top executives were sexual allegations against them too. And then their CEO, Yves Gouman, or I don't know how you pronounce his name, French guy, it's interesting that there's not a lot, maybe because everybody's focused on Activision right now, but I don't feel like a lot of people are focused on Ubisoft anymore because I guess Activision is the biggest target.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
I'm trying to see if I have any old Activision games over here because they've been a game company for a while.
In August 3rd, there was a Activision Blizzard held an earnings call, and during that board meeting, they did not really talk about the lawsuit that was initiated in July. A lot of people were kind of were worried of that, wondering why they didn't talk about this to the shareholders. They didn't really say anything, so that kind of just got swept under the rug. Let me see. End of August, HR was accused of shredding documents within Activision Blizzard, which is wild. Like, that stuff you see like in movies.
But
it definitely happens. But
I guess what I'm saying is, it happens in movies, but you don't. This is the funny thing. It happens in movies because it's happened in real life before.
Sure.
And we know it's happened in real life where they wouldn't have got it to movies. Now the problem is that they're still doing it. Like, I guess what's funny is they thought they could get away with it.
Ken from Chicago, wasn't it Ubisoft and Riot Games dealing with accusations only for the ActiBliss scandal to steal most of the Oxygen and media coverage? Yeah, Ubisoft and Riot Games were dealing with a lot of stuff. It's kind of what I brought up before, that a lot of people are focused on Ubisoft, but I guess because so many lawsuits have come out against Activision Blizzard, that is kind of where the focus is right now. And that the big story that Wall Street Journal dropped.
But also, the problem with the difference between this story and Ubisoft was that Activision, there's a media component to this that we'll get to, because we talked about it before, that deals with IGN. Because you have that in there, right?
Which part?
The statement from the IGN employees that was edited.
That's not from Activision. That was for Middle East stuff.
Ah, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like that statement was when they were trying to raise money for kids who got bombed or whatever.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Confusing two things.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It is.
It's a lot. It is what it is. It's a lot. September 20th. At this point, there's so many dates. I'm just trying to hit some of the big stuff. September 20th, 2021, SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, is investigating Activision Blizzard and subpoenas Bobby Kotick. That's huge because you don't really hear about the SEC really getting involved with video games. We always talk about video games. As much money as they make, they still kind of operate autonomously.
Because they've never garnered the attention of the SEC, because their behavior has never risen the alarm so much.
Right.
They've been a closed.
It's kind of like how Congress doesn't really monitor video games, with the exception of when Mortal Kombat came out, and then ESRB was formed by Video Game Board to be like,
to stave off Congress.
Yeah, we'll monitor ourselves. Yes. So yeah, for the most part, video games are kind of autonomous from congressional oversight in the U.S. at least. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission reportedly discussing settlement with Activision Blizzard. So one of the lawsuits was dropped because there was some type of settlement reached. We don't know what type of monetary or compensatory damages that people are getting, but something was reached with the plaintiffs and the defendants. September 21st, Blizzard's chief legal officer leaves company. I'm not a lawyer. I like to pretend like I am one. Leroy's not a lawyer.
Nope.
But it's never a good sign when your chief anything leaves a department. So when your chief legal officer leaves, like,
especially in the midst of you handling legal complaints and you're being sued, you're dealing with an SEC investigation.
Yeah.
When your chief legal officer leaves.
Yeah, and when she left, her name was Claire Hart. She didn't give a specific reason.
Nope.
She's like, I'm doing something else. Like, okay.
Interesting that it's a woman, because we know. Go ahead, because I'll get to Jennifer O'Neill.
Activision Blizzard settles U.S. Equal Opportunity Commission lawsuit for $18 million. That comes out September 27th. Ken from Chicago, Law & Order Special Nerds Unit. Yeah, man, this episode of Press Play is a little bit different just because there's so many pieces to this. We want you guys to have as much information as we do so we can talk about more. Yeah. Feel free to look up these articles too and fact check us if we're saying stuff wrong, because we're not going to pretend like we know everything. Yeah. But we're trying to give you all the resources that we have.
Because we want to have a discussion about Activision and what needs to happen in the community.
Activision Blizzard said they fired more than 20 people on October 19th. It was revealed they fired more than 20 people in relation to the accusations that were made in the lawsuits. Then When I don't remember when the Blizzard co-leaders hired Jen O'Neill and
So that was in August.
Garber. Okay.
That was in August.
They replaced J. Allen Brack.
So here's where we are. In August, Activision named a longtime employee, Jennifer O'Neill, to Blizzard's co-head, making her the first woman to lead one of the company's business units. The following month, she sent an email to a member of Activision's legal team in which she professed a lack of faith in Activision's leadership to turn the culture around, saying it was clear that the company would never prioritize our people the right way. O'Neill said in an email she was sexually harassed early in her career at Activision, that she was paid less than her male counterpart at the helm of Blizzard, and wanted to discuss her resignation. I have been tokenized, marginalized, and discriminated against, wrote Miss O'Neill, who is Asian American and gay. Here's the funny thing. So the gentleman you talked about just now, they were hired as co-leads. Mm-hmm. The reasoning behind they said that they were paid differently was because she headed one department and he headed a different department, which his pay beforehand, he was paid more. Mm-hmm. They said that they would be paid the same. They were paid the same once they got that position. O'Neill says that is not true. That is a lie. She's saying they never offered me the same pay as my counterpart until I resigned.
Right.
Once I resigned, she's staying on for the year, to the duration until they can find someone. Once they found out she was resigning, then they came back with saying, we would pay you the same.
Right.
And that's what she's alluding to when she talks about they do not take these claims seriously, and the leadership within the company is not going to change until they're gone, basically.
Yeah. So that's where we are now, more or less.
Well, no, that's not where we are, because we're leaving out something, the biggest thing which came out from the Wall Street Journal article. The reason why this is a big deal is because these things have been happening under Kim from Chicago. Jen O'Neill was the head of Vicarious Visions, and bought by Activision. It was folded into the company. When they promoted her as co-lead with, is it Utara?
Ybarra. Ybarra.
He was making more, she was making less. They did not offer to pay her until she resigned. And then they came up with a contract and was like, oh no, we're going to pay you. She's like, I'm done, I'm out. Mm-hmm. The problem is that, and it starts off with this Wall Street Journal article. He received an email in July of 2018.
Who was he?
Bobby Kotick.
Kotick. Yeah.
A lawyer for a former employee at Sledgehammer Games, an Activision-owned studio, alleged in an email that her client had been raped in 2016 and 2017 by a male supervisor. The problem with this is that Kotick, Mr. Kotick, the CEO, has known about this for years. We're now
according to this report.
According to this report, and even by their own admission, they've known about these things and they have lied about it. They've just tried to smooth it over by saying, oh, he doesn't handle the day-to-day. But we found out through his own testimony and through other articles and through their own company emails that they have known about these things and have done whatever they could to squash you knowing about it. Mm-hmm. Now the problem is the information is out. Kotick, I keep saying this name different.
Kotick, I don't know.
So here's the problem.
Love to interview you.
Oh,
yeah,
I would too.
I'd love to interview you.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
It would not be a great interview though. For him.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great for us. So, here's the problem. There are people asking for his resignation within the company. He, as it stands right now, has the support of the board. However, there is a group of investors within Activision. They're a small group. They're not the major.
Well, not within Activision. Just they own a portion of Activision.
They own a portion of Activision. Yeah. So they're not investors. They're
investors, but yes. I wouldn't say because it's not like they work for Activision.
No. So you're right. So definitely not a friend of the show, Ken from Chicago. But we would love to interview.
Right. Right.
They have asked for him to step down. So this is people within the financial structure of Activision who are like, yeah, you need to go. And there are people calling for the board. Polygon calling for the board to resign because, according to the Wall Street Journal article, the board was complicit in some of this. Now, there's talk that the board didn't know everything, that Kotick did not report everything. However, the Wall Street Journal article also demonstrates that Kotick has been sued and accused of sexual harassment through his tenure as CEO of Activision. So here's the question. What needs to happen? And how does this, because here's the thing. Ken from Chicago brings up a good point. Was it Ken? I'm trying to find the hasn't the Activision Blitz scandal broke into the mainstream news in morning shows like Today Show? Yes, that's part of the reason why this is getting a lot of attention, because it wasn't a huge organization within the video game community that broke this story. We've heard reports about it. It was the Wall Street Journal who actually dropped this information, and then subsequently we've seen other outlets from their reporting expound upon that. That's how we found out about Jen O'Neill not being paid the same as her counterpart. My question is, would you agree that IGN is the largest video game outlet within our business?
I could concur, and I'm pretty sure IGN has the widest
network
influence for sure. I don't know who number 2 is, but IGN is definitely the biggest. Yes.
If you go to their front page, there's nothing on their front page for this.
Is that true? Okay.
Hit refresh.
Are there other websites that have other video game websites that have anything on it right now?
Well, Polygon was the one that you alerted me to.
Right, but I'm saying, like, is it on Polygon's website right now?
No, it's moved down, but on the day it happened, IGN didn't have anything either.
Wait, what day?
When you said
When the Wall Street Journal report came out?
when the
yes, it did.
No, IGN did?
Yes.
I did not see anything. When the Wall Street Journal report came out, I didn't see anything. Now, they did have stuff on their YouTube page.
Right.
I saw them on their IGN Now, and some of their talent was up there talking about, because also they have been reporting that the head of Sony's PlayStation division and your boy Phil Spector from Xbox.
Every time you say it, that is a different person. Phil Spencer.
Spencer?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
That is a totally different person.
I keep getting those names.
Yes.
I do. I gotta stop watching so many documentaries.
No, don't put that on that man.
But he has come out and said, hey, this is very disappointing.
Yeah.
So, what do we do?
Which one? What part you want to tackle first?
You go. I mean, I'm in awe of, like, what do we do in this situation, because they have 10,000 employees. Mm-hmm. Us boycotting them negatively affects their bottom line, but guess what happens? The people who make the games go away. Yep. They are in charge of some of the largest franchises in video game history.
Sure.
Activision is in charge of Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
They release a game every year to blockbuster numbers. Mm-hmm. You mentioned a small game, independent studio. I don't know if you've heard of them. A little game called World of Warcraft.
Sure. Now that's funny, because I mean, and chat, let me know. I don't know if this is true anymore. I know World of Warcraft was the biggest MMORPG. Is it Final Fantasy 14 now? I don't know, but I mean, World of Warcraft is still huge. Mm-hmm. They lost a huge subscriber base, but they're still huge. But yeah, it's funny because so many people are saying that so far there haven't been any other video game people outside of Activision calling for Bobby Kotick to resign. They're just saying we're watching.
Yeah.
If that happens, that's going to be interesting. And I don't think they're ever going to do that just because of the way corporate PR works. I feel like them saying they're disappointed is about as much as you'll get from them calling for somebody.
But I guess, but let's be honest. Mm-hmm. You can't see the question I asked, in this day and age, in 2021, soon to be 2022, are we going to start seeing more people say we can't have this in our business? In other words, there's going to come a time when the head of Xbox is going to say, or the head of Sony, somebody's going to say he needs to step down. In other words, if there's going to be a change in the industry, mm-hmm. if there's going to be a change in the business, how we do things, that man represents a past that we do not need to revisit.
Sure.
And is that what needs to happen?
Maybe, but again, I don't think you're ever going to get.
You don't think so?
I don't think another game company is ever going to be like, Bobby Kotick needs to step down, unless something else comes out. I feel like this is as intense you're going to get as them saying they're disappointed and they're monitoring the situation.
Okay.
I think. Like, if more stuff comes out, maybe. Like, if more revelations.
If a woman accuses Bobby Kotick, then maybe you might see that.
Maybe.
What you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least from them. Now, personally, I think he should step down, only for the company to continue to grow.
To get past
right?
this.
Because love him or hate Bobby Kotick, he's going to be fine financially. He's made his.
Oh
money.
yeah, he's made his.
I mean, his salary now I think is like $65,000, but normally it's 1.5 million.
But that's because he asked for it to be 65,000 because hold on, I have it right here. And Bobby Kotick's 58 years old, one of the highest paid chief executives of a U.S. publicly traded company, with a pay package in 2020 valued at $154 million. In October,
154, jeez.
after the Journal approached Activision with questions for this article, Kotick told employees he would ask the board to reduce his total annual compensation to $62,000. Still a lot of money for a lot of people.
Sure.
And that company was implementing a zero-tolerance harassment policy and ending mandatory arbitration for harassment and discrimination claims. Now that goes back to what you were saying. They fired 20 people. Because when you look at some of these people, based on the article, some of these people needed to be let go a long time ago. Dan Bunting, co-head of Activision Treyarch Studios, was accused by a female employee of sexual harassment in 2017. They name a few people in here
Sure.
who have been let go and should have been let go.
Sure. I think in order for the company, like right now, I just checked Robinhood at Activision is at $62 right now. 3 months ago it was at $82. So I mean, it's seeing a drop. Shareholders are noticing. They're taking. I think if that continues to happen, I think more shareholders will be like, oh yeah, it is time for him to go, and then he'll get some type of severance package. They all do. He'll go away and they'll hire somebody new. But it does seem like they're at an impasse right now because you have so many employees within Activision Blizzard who are like, yo, we got to figure something out.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you can't work for your boss, that's going to lead to, you're not going to want to put in the time on these games. That's going to lead to louder people talking about, crunch. Crunch is always an issue, but sometimes if people love a game so much, and if you have a passion for something, you might let it slide because in your mind you're like, I'm working on something that I love. If you are working on something that you love with somebody that you don't want to work with, I feel like you're more likely to speak up on that.
Well, not only that, if you're working on something and you don't have a good because we've seen studies, we've seen these things over and over again. A happy employee makes a good product.
Sure.
If your employees are happy, they're healthy, they're being paid a good amount of money, you're going to have a good product. And when you handle your employees as if they're not people and they're meat, you're not going to get a good product. I would wager. I don't know if Activision, because again, I don't play a lot of their multiplayer games. I only play a handful of things that they make, but they make a lot of stuff that is big to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. My question is, has this affected the quality of their games? And two things. Ken from Chicago, what was the video game the other head of the company was asked, says Kotick should step down. And for you guys out there, have you noticed a dip in the quality of the games that Activision has made?
I can't answer that because, like you, I don't really play. Like the biggest thing that Activision makes right now for me is Call of Duty. I haven't played a Call of Duty in probably more than a decade.
Now, if you go to Activision's page, the games that they highlight that they make is Call of Duty, Vanguard just came out, Black Ops Cold War, Crash Bandicoot 4, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. We've got Call of Duty Warzone, which is a free game. Sekiro dies twice. Shadows die twice.
So Activision was the publisher. They didn't make it.
Well, this is a game that's on their front page. They're marketing games that they're claiming are within their house, their wheelhouse. So my question to the community is, has it dropped off? Because you can weather a storm if your product is still good.
Sure.
People are willing to overlook how bad you are as a company if you
can maintain success.
If you can maintain success.
Sure. Ryan Porter says, "You know how this plays out. Somebody takes the fall, gets the golden handshake, gets paid, and leaves scot-free."
Well, we know.
I think in the end, Bobby Kotick's going to have to step down or something. He'll be paid off, and they'll bring somebody else in new. Will he have any repercussions beyond that? Probably not. But I mean, that's probably better than nothing of him just staying on the board like nothing happened.
Yeah. My question to you is, should people boycott? Should people boycott Activision in its brand of games that they produce, make, develop? Because here are the Blizzard Activision, Infinity Ward is underneath them, Sledgehammer Games, Toys for Bob, Treyarch, and Vicarious Visions. Mm-hmm. That's their marquee studios. Mm-hmm. They make a lot of games.
Sure.
Now, granted, all of their studios, has been reported, are working on Call of Duty games, which does not leave for a lot of other games to be worked on.
Well, 3 of the studios.
Hold on.
Because I thought it was like Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and
Treyarch
are like the main 3, and then maybe people like Helper or whatever.
Well, the last report was all studios are working on some form of Call of Duty.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
In other words,
everybody's helping.
Everybody. So there's not a studio that does not have a hand in Call of Duty.
Sure, I can see that.
So my question to you is, what should they be boycotted? And I mean, I think there's no right or wrong answer.
Me personally, I would be okay with people boycotting. I mean, you vote with your dollar. I'm not going to tell anybody what they should do with their dollar. Me personally, I would boycott. But again, I don't. It's
not hard for you to boycott because you don't.
Right, because it doesn't. Them not getting my money means nothing to them because they weren't getting it before. I haven't played an Activision game in so long, and there's nothing that's out. Like maybe I would play Crash Bandicoot, but I could wait.
See, this is a funny thing. I have been you guys know I have been a Call of Duty fan for the campaign. I don't play multiplayer. I've enjoyed their campaigns for Call of Duty because I like to see what they've been able to create.
What was the last Call of Duty game you bought?
Modern Warfare. The last
the remake or whatever.
Both.
Okay.
I bought so each of the remakes, Call of Duty 1 and 2, I've gotten, and I did for a Christmas gift. I got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Redux.
Okay. Was that like 2-3 years ago or something?
No, that was last year.
Was it?
Yeah, remember it was 2000. It was
no. If you say so. Again, it's all a blur. I couldn't tell you. After Modern Warfare 3, I couldn't tell you the order of Call of Duty games.
Yeah, it was. Might have been a year ago.
Okay.
Might have been. It might have been 2 years, but in other words, not last year, but the year before. So like, right, almost at 2 years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the last one I bought. I didn't buy Cold War. We talked about Cold War. I enjoyed the trailer for Cold War. And then
Ken, I think you said this, but Ken from Chicago, you were saying somebody did come out. Who was the head of the company that did come out saying Kotick should step down? I'm just curious.
He's saying the CEO Jim Ryan
has Sony. Jim Ryan said he should step down?
See, I know Jim Ryan said that he was disappointed as well, but I don't know if he said he should step down. But again, that's...
No, he's saying Activision, he thought Activision hasn't responded properly.
Well, we can all say they haven't responded properly.
Yeah.
I can look... Give me a second. Let me look it up.
Yeah, it's fine. This kind of boils into a lot of different stuff, right? We were talking about in terms of coverage. Like, it's not getting a lot of media coverage all over the place from video game sites. You're seeing it from like Wall Street Journal. You're seeing it from Bloomberg. Again, they're one of their reporters who went there, I think this year. Now I can't think of his name, and I like him all the time.
Yeah, he's the one who mentions him all the time.
He used to work at Kotaku. I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. But he's at Bloomberg. He does a lot of reporting like this. So you are seeing some of those mainstream sites who have had people with video game journalism backgrounds and reporting kind of doing these bigger stories. Earlier we were talking about IGN kind of did an aggregate of some of the stories, but they weren't necessarily breaking the stories.
No.
And you were saying you thought they should do a better job.
I see, and this is the problem, and I'm not going to get into Gamergate, but this is the thing that I've had an issue with when it comes to video game journalism as a whole. Do we really have video game journalism? And I'm not talking about the GG people, because that's a hate group. I'm talking about it purely from a sense of, do we have outlets that are doing the work that Wall Street Journal is doing, that a Bloomberg would do, but all they do is focus on video games? Because here's the thing, we are consumers of a particular product, mm-hmm. but we're also part of a culture, a video game culture, nerd culture, whatever you want to be. A lot of these things are pop culture, but they only rise to the occasion of mainstream journalism when something happens.
Right.
And it seems to be we should have an outlet that covers our stuff and holds our community accountable when it comes to corporations or when it comes to the community or comes to fans.
Sure.
I bring that up because I was a big, you guys know if you've watched this channel, I was on Cyberpunk 2077's jock from the beginning. I loved The Witcher 3. I thought it was deserving of Game of the Year. And then when that game was released, we found out they were liars.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red were dirty liars in the fact that they released broken games that they knew were broken and lied to consumers to the point where they're being investigated now. But they made bank, so they were good. And then they tried to throw their own employees under the bus by saying, oh, they didn't tell us that it was broken. And the developers were like, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Where there should have been video game journalism covering that story. And not just major media
Jason
outlets.
Schreier did it.
Jason Schreier did, but what I'm saying
Yes.
is that's one man.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at the financial sector, if you look at sports, if you look at entertainment, they all have their own journalism outlets
Sure.
that cover those communities.
I think the issue is, and it's not, I mean, it's kind of an excuse, but it's the situation that we're in. Video games are still a growing business, right? They haven't been around in the form that they've been now, like movies or other forms of entertainment have been. So I think those people exist, but I think they're steadily getting their base. Like somebody like Kat Bailey and Matt Kim, they're like two kind of investigative reporters for IGN right now. They will do these kinds of stories, but they don't do them as much as, say, as a Jason Schreier because he's been doing it longer, I think. So I think those people exist. They just don't have the biggest showing yet because they're still growing their sources and stuff, I think.
And Ken from Chicago brings up a good point. What is the cost of access in big news? Political news, sports news, tech news. Here's the thing that I've noticed too, and I bring this up because it was a conversation that came up in sports. You have people who are sports journalists who are not just reporting the scores, they're not just reporting the plays, they're actually talking about the business of sports. The sports is a cross-section of a multitude of different factors, whether it be race, whether it be economics, whether it be gambling. There's a whole host of things that goes into sports that is not just who won this game.
Sure.
If you look at certain things where it comes to ESPN, ESPN is the biggest thing. IGN and ESPN are comparable. IGN is the closest thing we have to an ESPN in our industry.
Okay.
ESPN does journalism, but they have also been accused of being in bed with the people they're supposed to be investigating.
Sure.
We know that ESPN was working with NPR or PBS, I'm trying to remember, on the concussion scandal. The NFL pressured them, and they had to make a decision. They pulled out of the concussion investigation. This is where the access, and do you want to do journalism or do you want to do entertainment news comes in. Sure. And I think that's where we are right now in our community. Piggybacking off the idea that what you said, this is still a young business, so to speak. That we don't have 100 years of film.
Right.
Like film does. We've got what, 40 years? Like as an industry,
50, yeah,
how old is video games as?
I feel like you start in the 70s, right? Maybe.
So
50 years?
50 years.
Yeah.
And so you're right. We still have a young business.
And when you think about, like, if you look at other systems, right? When people go to a J school, usually, like, a J school doesn't necessarily focus on, like, video game news.
No.
At least when I went to J school, there wasn't, like, a video game news section you could do.
No.
A lot of people I know, a person I always talk about who is one of the co-founders of Kinda Funny, Greg Miller, he went to Missouri, a well-known journalism school. And he kind of got his start with video games writing for like Missouri newspapers in terms of like reviewing games. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how he got into the business of doing video games. But for the most part, you're not going to go to a J school and then, oh, I'm going to start writing about video games for the most part.
Well, not only that, we just now got, so again, sports. Dan Patrick actually works with Full Sail to teach people how to do broadcasting when it comes to esports. Mm-hmm. So again, we're still, the media as an entity and as a business is changing. We've noticed that from our side of, we've talked ad nauseum about the talent pool that comes into journalism versus where it was 5-10 years ago. So I'm quite sure these entities have the same problem. My question is, who is going to step up to make sure, because journalism is not just informing the consumer, informing people what's going on. It's protecting the consumer.
Sure.
Because before you buy a game, order 17 or what was that game? Order.
I know what you're talking about. The game that looked so pretty, but was like 4 hours.
And it was quick time. It was a quick time game.
Well, I didn't actually play
It was
so I don't
basically a
know.
quick time game.
Okay.
That was a full price game. Some people were mad about that.
Sure.
Because where were the reviews beforehand to say this was a crappy game? And that's where I think what we need more of, not just YouTubers who are just saying who aren't held accountable for the things that they're saying, but I'm talking real journalists who get facts, who have sources, who are not reporting things unless they have 3 pieces of information.
I think those people do exist, but it's going to take a while for people to find those sources. I think there are YouTubers. I mean, we're on YouTube right now. There are YouTubers who will just shout up at the mouth. There are also YouTubers who do have sources and cite things, but those channels aren't necessarily as big as some of the other people who can just kind of rattle off stuff. And I think it takes a group effort of people going to channels like the News 19 Nerds and highlighting those channels, whether it be somebody else, other channels who are out there doing the journalistic type stuff, finding those information, bringing the truth to light, as it were.
Who would you recommend for people to follow when it comes to video game journalism? Not like reviews, not just
Jason
like...
Schreier at Bloomberg.
Who else?
Kat Bailey at IGN, Matt Kim at IGN. Who is the person at Polygon now? Honestly, I think IGN is kind of in a weird situation where, because it's the biggest site, they're also trying to keep those numbers up. So I think they've gotten better about doing those deep dive articles, but they're still more of a mainstream site, I think.
Yes.
But if you want like those in-depth articles, I think you have to go to your Bloombergs. I think you have to go to Kotaku, Polygon, places like that. Sometimes even Giant Bomb. But I think those websites are digging into those stories. And to show your support, you have to go in and click. Not saying you have to buy anything from affiliate links, but clicking on those links, showing that people are reading those articles. So the editors-in-chief of those websites will put more money into those resources.
It's interesting you mentioned Kat Bailey, because on this IGN article that was filed today, it's from Kat Bailey. Over 1,000 Activision Blizzard employees signed petition to remove Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
I'll put this in the chat for you guys so you can see, and then follow her social media if you want to. I thought this story was important because we love the game side of this stuff. So some of you guys are older than me. Some of you are younger than me. Some of you same age. So we've been through this journey together. But the idea that Activision has been doing this, and the reason why we didn't joke around about it, and we actually wanted to talk about it, was this isn't just a bad workplace where they're working you too hard. This article in the second paragraph talks about a woman who was raped in 2016 and 2017 by her supervisor. And a company did not do its due diligence to protect its employees or look out for them to the point where they had to be sued. And now it's to the point where the Wall Street Journal is reporting on it. If you garnered the attention of the Wall Street Journal, your conduct is very unbecoming.
Right.
That's how bad you are. And it also makes me wonder now, and no one has asked this, is the reason why Activision's games are all bro heavy is because they're a frat boy environment. Are none of the voices of anyone else not able to come to light so that they are actually invested in doing other video games?
So yes and no, but that isn't just an Activision thing. That's a game.
True,
thing.
but what I'm saying is,
like-
we've seen other video game companies have other studios and say, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. ZeniMax is a perfect example. All those games under ZeniMax are not all just RPGs. They're first-person shooters. They're RPGs. There's a multitude of different games.
Yeah.
If I say Activision, the first thing out of your mouth normally is going to be what?
Some type of Call of Duty.
Or World of Warcraft. In other words, so my question is the culture of it's open-ended. And the reason why I say that is because that's where video game journalism comes in. Is the culture of Activision part of the reason why Activision's product is the way it is?
Yeah, but I wouldn't blame, like, personally, I wouldn't lay that just at Activision. Because, again, I think that is a video game thing, not an Activision thing.
I am agreeing with you. What I'm saying is, I'm broaching the question. What I'm saying is, a outlet should investigate that. In other words, you've talked about that the video game industry has a bro culture. So is that the reason why we have a predominantly amount of bro games? And
there are articles out there,
and
I can send them to you.
So what I'm saying is, I would love. What I'm saying is, that's what I would like to see more of. In other words, that engaging, because when you have a more robust industry that has games for everybody, you have a better industry.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why this is important for asking those questions. That's why we ask these questions in journalism of our politicians, of our difference makers, our opinion makers, and policy makers.
Ryan Porter says, were you finished?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Ryan says, yes, the growing pains are evident, but a new form of reporting is taking shape and starting to gain a stronger foothold on media. I think you are seeing a lot of people, again, you do have like the one-offs who just kind of spout whatever they want. We can be accused of that sometimes. We try to do better, but sometimes it happens. But there are also other people who are digging in stuff. A big story that's going on now in Colombia, Alex Murdaugh, that case.
Woo! That's not just a Colombia story. That's a
right. I mean, it's a nationwide
yeah.
story. But I would argue the person who's covering it better than anybody.
Mandy Matley.
Yeah, Matney.
Matney. Yes.
Yeah, Mandy
from
Matley.
Fake News.
From Fitz News.
She has a great podcast.
She has a great podcast. She's been on it for years now. She's been covering that family. And a lot of people, when they source stuff, they source her.
Yes.
So I mean, there are people like that. Those one-off people, like those small independent people who are making headways and doing the research. It's just getting people to know those names and giving them support.
So that's why we brought this story up, because we talked about it amongst each other, and we were like, if we're talking about it, then maybe other people should be talking about it, and you should be informed. I would really love to know, and maybe I'll put up a poll after this and say, based on recent turmoil in Activision, should we boycott Activision? Should we? Because this is the thing, we've always been told, vote with your dollars.
Sure.
But we're now living in a world where we realize having a job is important, because you a lot of times won't have health insurance without a job. Mm-hmm. And what happens to these people when we boycott? What happens to these studios? Because let's be honest, we know Kotick is going to be fine.
Right.
Ryan Porter brought up the golden parachute. We know the board is going to be fine. What about the people who are actually dealing with this on a day-to-day basis, mm-hmm. who are dealing with this type of harassment? How do we help them? And that's my question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do not know how we help them, but still hold Activision accountable. Because the only thing Activision would understand is, like they said in the chat, they see that stock price drop, right. They'll make a change.
Yeah.
But then that stock price drops, they will take that pay that they're missing out of something, and it's normally the employees.
Yeah. So yeah, a bit of a more serious conversation tonight. Mm-hmm. Serious stuff happening in the world. It is what it is. Anything happy in your life this week? You got a wife and a son.
I do, but I've been playing Breakpoint, and it was actually between.
I really thought you were gonna yes and on that, but you're like,
I mean,
let me talk about these video games.
He started to throw temper tantrums now, and I'm like,
you ain't cute no more.
Nah, man. Let me tell you, he got so mad one day at me, and I was like, what the is juice? I was like, son, like I was like, I now know why people hit kids. Because I was like, I would fight you. Let me tell you what happened one day. He got mad because he wanted to go to the door where you go outside. And I was like, let's come over here. So he got mad, so he saw the dog's bowl. So he likes to put his hand in the dog's water bowl, splash around. I was like, sometimes I let him do it. But he had graham crackers in his hand. I was like, you're not going to do that. Let's come over here. Threw a fit. Fell out, threw his graham crackers down. He was double fisted. Threw them down. Had a fit. The dog looked at him, looked at the graham cracker, looked at him, ate his graham cracker. And he stopped. My son, if he could curse, would have said, what the? Yeah. Looked at the dog. As the dog looked at him eating his graham cracker, he picked himself up, picked up his other graham cracker, and walked down the hallway. And I was like, that's karma. That's what you get. Now you see what consequences are. Mm-hmm. That happened this week. So yeah, it's Breakpoint.
Okay, cool.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yes, fair enough. I'm downloading Forza Horizon 5 right now as we speak. I can't wait to see it on a 4K TV. At my lady's house. Oh, I'm at my lady's house.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I can watch it on her TV with my glasses and be like, "Ooh, this is nice. I should get me a 4K TV." So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for right now. A movie I'd never seen before, Kiss the Girls. I'm watching that right now.
Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd? Mm-hmm. Man, when you watch that, go watch the Tyler Perry one. Because that's the same character.
Yeah, no, Alex Cross.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, yeah.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Okay.
I didn't know that, yeah.
I was about to say, ooh.
No, yeah, I'm familiar with Alex Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching this. I'm watching that. I watched that game, or play that game. And I don't know if you downloaded it yet, but Halo multiplayer's out.
No.
It's free?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I got Breakpoint.
I got Breakpoint. I'm a ghost.
I'm a ghost.
Is that the one with Punisher?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I'm a ghost too.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
I like it. It takes a little bit of the controls to get used to. I will say this: it's been a while since I played an open world game. Mm-hmm. Breakpoint is open world. Like you can follow the mission, like the main mission, or not. I forgot what Ubisoft is like. Here's a playground. Go nuts.
Yeah.
I forgot how they work. I will.
You guys say Forza 5 was robbed from Game of the Awards nomination. Is it because it missed the cutoff point? So is it going to be not eligible next year? I'm just curious. I haven't looked to see when it came out to do whatever. Oh, I did watch the first episode of Cowboy Bebop. Ugh. Not a fan.
I'll watch it.
I will watch the whole thing, but I was like, I figured out. I think what they're trying to do is they're really trying to make it seem like a cartoon live action, and I don't think that's serving either. I think they should just make it a live action show and not try to make it so much of an anime live action because I don't think it's working for the show.
Okay.
But
I'll check it out.
Nominated for best racing game. Okay.
So everybody, I don't know if you do participate in Black Friday. A lot of the deals are out now. So if you like movies, Amazon and Best Buy has a bunch of movies, 4K, Blu-ray on sale, but also video games on sale. I don't like the hot stuff. I like for you to buy whatever you want, but look out for video game sales. $25
at GameStop.
At GameStop.
Yeah.
$25 and brand new. Because I was like, don't give me one that was open. Michael told me what y'all do at GameStop. I told him that too. I was in there, and he was like, "Yo," he was like, "Nah, man, we don't do that." I said, "Nah, man, I know what y'all do. I know a friend of mine who used to work and told me what y'all do with these open games. Don't give me no used crap."
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it for us. We got a short and sweet, nice compact hour here.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week, right? Mm-hmm. What are days looking like?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's that Friday.
That Friday. Okay.
Black Friday, actually.
Okay.
Oh, wow! Look at that, man. I'm a genius.
So next Friday we'll be here. Friday after that we should be here.
Then the Thursday, and then the second week we won't.
Yeah, second week.
Because that'll be Thursday. Because that's a
Thursday for Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
We'll be streaming it. Come watch it with us or watch
it.
Oh,
Wheel of Time dropped too. Wheel of Time.
Yeah, and I do want to watch that. It's a lot of stuff to watch.
So Wheel of Time dropped. I think
the season finale
Foundation dropped. So that's what I was waiting on. So I was up to episode 5, and then I stopped because I was like, I can't take week to week.
Sure.
I was like, I'm just gonna binge it one night, stay up, and just watch all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna finish Foundation. Red Notice dropped last week. Haven't watched it.
I was bored.
Really?
And I was sad that I was bored. I was like, this is boring.
All those pretty people and you were bored?
They're very pretty, but like, this is a boring movie.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you this question and you give your honest answer.
Uh-huh.
Think The Rock's coming back for Fast and 10?
I don't think so. Well, you know what? Maybe.
I mean, Vin was like, yo.
Why would you come at him on Instagram? You could have just... There's no way y'all don't have each other's phone numbers.
This is my question.
Don't come at Instagram.
No, this is my question. Did he come at him on Instagram?
To pressure him?
I wouldn't say pressure, but to show the world, hey, we want The Rock back for this. Let's go out on top and see if the fans...
No.
Because this is the thing. There's a difference between if you tell somebody, hey, man, I want you to come back. And then you're like, he's like, I don't know. And then you're like, hey, man, we want you to come back.
I feel like that's not a good look.
It's manipulative, yes.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like if you want to be genuine, you go to him face to face and be like, talk, yo, let's get you in this movie. You don't got to put the whole world out there. So now The Rock is going to look bad if he doesn't, like, nah. I don't like it.
Yeah, but Vin Diesel doesn't care about whether or not he looks bad.
I mean, true.
Because it's about family.
It's about something. But, yeah.
Kim from Chicago, I'm going to go with no.
I don't think it's made up.
It's not.
Because I don't believe these two men to be that great of actors.
Because this is the thing. Well, this is the thing. Both of them, and they've said it before, both of them are two alpha males who've always been the center of whatever movie. When you are always the person who's the center of attention, and you have another person who's all the center of the attention, and those two orbits collide, they don't. This is why I will always say the fact that the MCU works with the amount of egos and talent that has been in these movies is a testament to the formula that whatever the MCU does works, because they can't keep two people in Fast and Furious. Mm-hmm. And you have had everyone from Robert Downey Jr. to Scarlett Johansson to Paul Rudd.
You see she's back?
Yep.
For something?
Yep.
Hey,
see what I'm saying?
They worked it out.
Keep in mind, it wasn't the acting that was the beef, it was the money. Mm-hmm. That's my point. The Rock and Vin Diesel can't get it together just to drive cars around and film it. Mm-hmm. Yet Marvel's over here making 24 movies, just spitting stuff out.
Yeah.
You had a movie with Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, the Stark brothers.
Yeah.
And nobody had beef.
Ryan Porter says review King Richard. You gonna watch King Richard?
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to be in my feels. I believe that is a perfectly good movie. I don't know if I want to be in my feels.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm tired of Will Smith trying to make me cry in a movie.
Pursuit of Happiness, man, got me.
I never finished it.
He held that bathroom door with his foot.
Hey, I
was like, no.
Son, I did just like this. Nah, Will.
I can't.
Nope. You got not after 7 pounds, my brother.
Yeah.
You got me once. You won't get me. I have never finished, and I will say, I will go to my grave, I will never finish Pursuit of Happiness. I know the story. I've seen the interview of the man. I think it's great. My son can watch it. I don't need to cry like that.
Yeah.
I don't need to boohoo cry like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's too much real stuff in this world.
Yeah.
That I'm already upset about. That I don't need to go into it knowing I'm gonna have some tears. There are certain movies that I don't need. I don't need to watch Precious. I already know what it's about. Nope. So I may watch King Richard. Depends if Katie wants to watch it. Mm-hmm. But it's just I don't know, man. So that's for us. We know that there was a lot of hey man, when that dog died, I ain't gonna lie. Especially when he gave that dog to his daughter. Oh. Whoo. I needed a moment. I ain't gonna lie. Will Smith is always trying to make somebody cry in his movies.
Yeah.
That's why I like Gemini Man. Ain't no crying in that.
Fair enough. No crying in that. That's it for us.
We know the news was kind of heavy today. This was kind of heavy, and we didn't want to talk about it, so we talked about this.
Yeah. You can find us here on Twitter, also on Instagram, Facebook, sometimes WRTX.com. $25 for Deathloop. Yeah. In terms of us on our channel right now, I think the most recent thing we have up is the Spider-Man 2 trailer reaction. We're excited. I mean, I've always been excited, but that trailer got Leroy excited.
I ain't gonna lie. The trailer did sell me.
Yeah.
The trailer did get me. I'm on board now. All right, so that's it. Did you say like, comment, and subscribe?
Like, comment, subscribe.
We're out. Peace. Yeah, man. I love Will Smith, but man, stop trying to make me cry in the theater. I don't appreciate that.
Sure.